Hello and welcome to Firstpost Spotlight, where we bring you the stories that matter to you from all across the world. From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, we shed light on issues that shape our world. I am Gushin Garland, and let's begin with the top headlines. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Maldivian President Mohamed Muizzu hold bilateral meeting in Mali. Prime Minister Modi is on a two-day official visit to Maldives. Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky says his country is working to secure funding for 10 Patriot air defense systems, following a deal that allows European states to buy US weaponry and give it to Kyiv. In the UK, thousands of doctors launch a 5-day strike after talks with Prime Minister Keir Starmer's Labour government for a new pay increase failed to reach a deal. Philippine top court blocks the impending Senate impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte, saying it violated a constitutional provision against multiple impeachment proceedings within a single year. And Hong Kong police announced bounties for information leading to the arrest of 19 overseas activists, accusing them of national security crimes. Today we begin with Southeast Asia, where Thailand and Cambodia are trading heavy firepower for the second straight day. Jets in the sky, tanks on the ground, shells continue to hit civilian zones. Thailand's acting Prime Minister Phumtham Wechayachai has warned that the situation could turn into a war.
At this time, the country needs national unity. The events that have occurred involve invasion, encroachment, and harm to the lives of our people. As I've said, the situation has intensified and could escalate into a state of war. For now, it's just clashes using heavy weaponry.
Now, this is not just a dramatic statement. The signs are already there. A long-standing border dispute has exploded. On Thursday, 6 different points along the 800-kilometer frontier saw heavy fire. F-16 jets were deployed from Thailand's end. Even Cambodian rockets landed deep inside Thailand, and shells hit a hospital. In fact, a petrol station was also blown up. Thailand's Interior Ministry said at least 14 civilians and a soldier were killed. Another 46 were wounded. And on the Cambodian side, 1 person was reported to be killed and 5 others injured. Now in Thailand, nearly 140,000 people were forced to flee. 4 Thai provinces were emptied. Inside shelter camps, nearly 3,000 people were packed tight on rows of plastic mats, scattered with colorful blankets and hastily packed personal belongings. The relief camps are overwhelmed. Families are sleeping inside converted gyms. Children lie side by side on thin mats, and pet cats are placed in small crates near restrooms. The fear is real, but the evacuees also talk of relief.
But being here does feel safer, since we're far from the danger zone now. At least we're safe. My whole family made it out together, so that eases the anxiety. The staff have been coordinating well and helping everyone. We've all received good support.
On the other side of the border, the situation remains the same. Dozens of Cambodian villagers fled their villages due to fears of escalating fighting between both the countries. Cambodian families dragged what they could on makeshift tractors, pots, mattresses, chickens, anything that they could carry. As the fighting between the neighbors enters day 2, the Thai army released a video. It is a drone footage, and with it, Thailand claims the drones bombed a Cambodian arms depot. The video shows multiple structures being struck by drones, and one clip showed a drone catching fire mid-air before falling to the ground. Amid rising crisis on the ground, the war of words has also begun. Thailand's former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra says that Thailand has exercised restraint. Meanwhile, Cambodia says Thailand attacked the country using heavy weaponry to steal their land.
Thailand's attacks are aimed at taking Cambodia land, which is another reason that I think the international community as well as the International Court of Justice can clearly see the purpose of the royal government of Cambodia in bringing this case to the court to solve, so surely Cambodia will come out ahead in this case.
But Thailand isn't backing down. The acting Prime Minister said that the country wouldn't surrender and would fight to defend itself.
We will not surrender our nation's sovereignty. We are fully defending ourselves, and I affirm that the Thai government will take full care of our people and do everything within our power and under the circumstances to the best of our ability.
Meanwhile, the world is watching. Yesterday, China and Malaysia urged calm and peace in the region through dialogue. And then, the United States stepped in. They called for an immediate end to the military escalation between both countries and urged the protection of civilians.
We are also gravely concerned by the escalating violence along the Thailand-Cambodia border and deeply saddened by reports of harm to civilians. The United States urges an immediate cessation of hostilities, protection of civilians, and a peaceful resolution of the conflict.
Today, Thailand responded by saying that it does not need any international mediation in de-escalating the conflict.
A lot of our allies, our friends, countries like United States, China, has called us and to verify the facts and showed concern. And they did ask, they did offer that if needed, they are ready to help facilitate dialogues. In our position on this is that we don't think we need any mediation from a third country yet. If anything, we're ready to use the ASEAN mechanism at this point.
The EU also wants de-escalation, and in fact, France is also deeply concerned. The United Nations Security Council has agreed to a closed-door meeting, as requested by the Cambodian Prime Minister. But now, amid the crisis, the Indian Embassy in Thailand has issued a travel advisory, urging tourists to remain vigilant. But the conflict isn't new. Thailand and Cambodia share an 800-kilometer border, but they disagree where it lies. Between 2008 and 2011 clashes killed 28 people. At that time, the UN stepped in and settled the dispute. But the truce collapsed in May, when a Cambodian soldier was killed in a border skirmish. But now, as the old ghosts are back and the battlefield is expanding, the question should not be about who fired first, but who takes the next step to decide the fate of both nations. Now let's turn our attention to Bangladesh, where a former Chief Justice has been jailed in connection with a murder case during last year's anti-Hasina protest. His name is ABM Khairul Haq. The 81-year-old former top judge was first arrested on Thursday, and later a court in Dhaka sent him to jail. As per Bangladeshi police, Haq is facing several other cases, but he was officially arrested for his alleged involvement in a murder. And the murder case was filed by a leader of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, or BNP. He accused Haq ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and over 460 others of killing his son during the student uprising in August last year. That toppled Hasina's government and forced her to flee to India. Haq served as the Chief Justice of Bangladesh for a brief period of 8 months, from October 2010 to May 2011. Later, Hasina's government appointed him as the chairman of the country's Law Commission. However, just a week after Hasina's government was toppled and she fled to India, Haq resigned from the position. Now, Haq has long been criticized for a 2011 ruling that abolished holding elections under a caretaker government system. The system previously required ruling parties to step down during election periods to ensure fairness. In fact, Haq's ruling was even widely seen as benefiting Hasina's Awami League, helping it stay in power. Critics allege that Haq's verdict helped Hasina's Awami League party to unleash a reign of terror, including enforced disappearances and murders. Haq also issued rulings in several other high-profile cases. This includes the assassination of Hasina's father, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the founding president of Bangladesh. The BNP has accused Haq of weaponizing the judiciary against the state and expressed hopes for an exemplary punishment for the country's former Chief Justice. But since Sheikh Hasina's ouster in August last year, Bangladesh's interim government, under the leadership of Nobel laureate Mohammad Yunus, has been cracking down on individuals who served during Hasina's regime. These include politicians, economists, top election officials, bureaucrats and police officers. Hasina and two senior officials have been indicted for alleged crimes against humanity linked to the deadly crackdown on protesters during last year's July uprising. And in a separate ruling, Hasina has also been sentenced to 6 months in prison for contempt of court. Now she has dismissed the rulings as politically motivated. But as Hasina continues to live in exile in India, it remains to be seen how long can she escape the trouble mounting for her back at home. Donald Trump has fired a warning shot, and this time it's aimed at American tech companies. He is slamming them for outsourcing jobs to India. In fact, he is also calling the move a global game of profits and betrayal. At an artificial intelligence summit in New York, Trump made his position crystal clear. He wants Apple, Tesla, Google and other tech giants to hire Americans and not Indians. In his speech, he called for the end of quote-unquote radical globalism. In fact, the commander-in-chief said he wants a new spirit of patriotism in the Silicon Valley. Listen in.
It will require us to blast through obsolete systems, cut through thickets of regulation. We've got to get rid of some of the regulation, but we want good regulation and rebuild the industrial bedrock of our country. And perhaps most importantly, winning the AI race will demand a new spirit of patriotism and national loyalty in Silicon Valley and long beyond Silicon Valley.
Clearly, the US president wants America to win the AI race. And he made it clear that he expects all US companies to abandon hiring overseas in the spirit of nationalism.
Is the country that started the AI race. And as President of the United States, I'm here today to declare that America is going to win it. We're going to work hard. We're going to win it. Because we will not allow any foreign nation to beat us. Our children will not live on a planet controlled by the algorithms of the adversaries advancing values and interests contrary to our own. We don't want to have contrary interests.
The US president says US tech giants are reaping the benefits of American freedom while hiring workers in India, building factories in China, and slashing taxes in Ireland. But now he has made it clear, under his administration, those days are over. He then signed 3 executive orders to ramp up spending on AI. And this wasn't a one-off. Weeks ago, Trump asked Apple and Tesla to pull back from India. But here's the reality. India plays a massive role in US tech operations. According to American Chamber of Commerce in India, US companies have created gainful employment for over 5 million people in India. As of 2024, there are 1,800 offshore offices in India. Most of them are American. And together, they employ close to 2 million people. Big tech from Google to IBM employs millions in India. They outsource cloud support, software and data services to cities like Bengaluru and Hyderabad. It's cost-effective. It's efficient. In fact, the CEO of the Silicon Valley Central Chamber of Commerce earlier said, Indians are one of the largest leaders of innovation in the Silicon Valley. He said American tech companies cannot survive without Indians. Now, not just the tech world, but Indians also dominate the H-1B visa program too. In 2024, they made up 74% of all new approvals. So when Trump says stop hiring overseas, the message hits Indians directly. The US Vice President also doubled down. In a different venue referring to a different issue, J.D. Vance launched a blistering attack on Microsoft. Why? For laying off 9,000 employees and simultaneously applying for thousands of H-1B visas to hire foreign talent. He questioned the ethics and economic logic behind such moves. Vice President Vance's statement comes amid growing scrutiny over H-1B visas. Sectors like technology, finance, and academia are the primary beneficiaries. In 2024, leading firms such as Amazon, Google, Meta, and Tesla secured thousands of H-1B approvals. Microsoft has also received a significant number of approvals despite ongoing rounds of layoffs. The visa program has emerged as a political flashpoint for the Republican government and conservatives aligned with the MAGA movement. They say this program displaces thousands of American workers. But as of now, no official policy change has been announced yet. But the statements from both the president and the vice president make the message loud and clear. Tech firms that rely on outsourcing are on notice. Should Indian engineers eyeing jobs in the US be worried? That only time will tell. But experts say such statements may appeal to American voters. In fact, it could undermine US innovation because over half of America's top AI talent is foreign-born, and most of them are from India and China. While Trump is asking American firms to stop hiring in India, it's the Indian minds that are running the show. The CEO of Microsoft is an Indian, Satya Nadella. Sundar Pichai leads Google. Shantanu Narayan, again an Indian, is the CEO of Adobe. And the list goes on. Trump says the US started the AI race and it will finish it. But the question is, at what cost? For the last story, let's talk about the Philippines, where the monsoon rains have turned monstrous. More than a week of stormy weather, heavy rains and floods have devastated the country. And the situation worsened after Typhoon Kome made a landfall in the Philippines on Friday. The typhoon has inundated homes in various regions of the country, including the capital Manila, with up to chest-deep floods.
It rained a lot last night. It fell non-stop until morning. The water was up to our chests. It's difficult to go outside because the water is so high.
The rain was strong all night. It sounded like my roof was going to blow off. It creaked. The rain poured all night long.
People walked through waist-deep waters, scrambling to protect themselves and their belongings.
We couldn't salvage anything, our belongings, because everything was submerged. Our washing machine, our bed, our rice cooker, all our clothes were submerged. We were not able to salvage much.
For many, the storm snatched away not only their houses, but also their livelihood.
It's too much water. Our feet are getting soaked to the point of rotting. We can't earn money because we can't go to work. We work in construction in subdivisions, but they are flooded. We can't enter.
Thousands of troops, police, Coast Guard personnel, firefighters, and civilian volunteers have been deployed to help rescue people in villages swamped in floodwaters or isolated due to roads blocked by landslides, fallen trees, and boulders. Typhoon Kome has now been downgraded to a tropical storm, but the death toll from over a week of monsoon rains has gone up. Now, since last Friday, at least 25 people have died, mostly due to flash floods, toppled trees and landslides and electrocution. At least 8 remain missing. Nearly 280,000 have been forced to flee their homes, and around 3,000 houses have been damaged. Electricity is down in several regions across the country, and schools remain shut in metropolitan Manila for the third day. Classes remain suspended in 35 provinces in the main northern region of Luzon, where at least 77 towns and cities have declared a state of calamity, and travel has been restricted in the northern provinces. This is the 5th weather disturbance to hit the Philippines since the rainy season started last month, and the trouble is not ending anytime soon. Weather forecasts warn that more than a dozen more tropical storms are expected to batter the country for the rest of the year. Every year, about 20 such typhoons and storms wreak havoc across the Philippines.
The same thing happens every time. There's no solution. The floodwaters just keep getting deeper.
We'd be happy receiving aid from the government, but it's better for US to have a long-term solution like the flood control projects that they said they are working on.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has explicitly tied the recent flooding to climate change, asking his country to accept the new normal. But as residents lose homes, incomes, and even lives, the need of the hour isn't not just to adapt, but to act and to protect the people before the next storm hits. That's all we have on the show for today. We will see you again next week. Thanks for watching.
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT, only on Firstpost.